Hola, hola, futuros directores, ¿cómo están? Bienvenidos al 12º episodio de Mente de Planta, los que hacen que la industria funcione. Hoy estamos en una sala diferente, pero igual, como siempre, en GPD, en la sede de Juriquilla. Acuérdense que tenemos también sedes en Bernardo Quintana, en Centro Sur, en El Refugio y por acá en el norte de la ciudad. Hoy tengo un invitado muy particular, muy interesante, muy especial, por lo cual vamos a cambiar a inglés para poder fluir mejor en esta entrevista. Es un personaje muy interesante que nos va a compartir un poco de su historia, de lo que está pasando en su empresa el día de hoy aquí en Querétaro. Así que, sin más, vamos a cambiar a inglés. And now I would like to introduce you to Akitake Kato, president of MISUMI.
Thank you very much. And sorry, I have to switch to English.
No, no problem.
I need to practice my Spanish, yes. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for the introduction.
Thank you for your time. And I'd like to start this interview with who is Aki?
Okay. I am from Japan. I lived here for about 5 years.
Wow.
I came in the middle of the pandemic. Before that, I worked in Frankfurt in Germany.
Wow.
For 6 years, and before that, I worked for a management consulting company. And so, basically, in the last 20 or the quarter of this century, I only lived in Japan for 3 or 4, 5 years.
Okay. Wow.
But before that, I lived in the United States. So probably almost half of my life I spent outside Japan.
Outside,
Yeah,
right.
So I first have to mention that. And right now I work as a president of a company called MISUMI Mexico. MISUMI itself is a 60 years old company, and MISUMI Mexico was founded 8 years ago. And we handle mechanical components for factory automations. We're not just, we make them in Asia and Japan and United States and now in Mexico, and we just don't sell them. But the way we sell them is attracting probably 7,000 customers in Mexico. So I believe that it's not just the quality of the products that the customers are appreciating, but also the quality of the service that we're providing that is helping our customers' needs.
Okay, absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, you told us that you've worked all around the world in different continents. How has all that experience shaped your leadership?
Yes, thank you. So the first thing that was, since I was a child, I was living in the United States, going back and forth Japan. And what I realized, or not even realizing, but I knew that many things are different.
Yeah.
And you have to accept that there is difference, and you have to understand the difference. And sometimes you have to adjust to those differences. So that kind of flexibility really built my foundation.
Okay.
And with that understanding and difference, you will understand that you need to change sometimes, and things change as well.
Yeah.
So I probably did a move, or I changed my house maybe 15 times already in my life. So I am very used to changes, and I like to see the changes. I like to talk to different people. I like to visit different countries, different places, eat different food, especially in Mexico, different tacos. It's everywhere in Mexico. I think that really gave me a flexibility for many things.
Yeah, absolutely. What was your first impression of Mexico's industrial landscape?
When we founded MISUMI in Mexico, that was 2018, we did some due diligence, and we realized that Mexico is about automotive. Yes, that was true. But in retrospect, as you just asked, I think that was very, not wrong, but a very limited understanding of the Mexican industry. Currently now, Mexico is diversifying itself as a manufacturing powerhouse of the world. In 2030, the government is trying to achieve to become one of the top 10 economy fueled by manufacturing, and those will be mostly diversified clusters all over Mexico and everything. So it is changing a lot,
Yeah.
and we didn't really realize, but it was happening since 2020 or maybe 2010. So
Oh,
that
okay.
was a limited understanding of us
Yeah.
about Mexico.
Okay.
Yes.
I know that you have studied a master's degree in the States in Harvard and Babson. How did your time in the States influence your approach to strategy and organizational transformation?
Thank you. So I did my master in business administration at business school called Babson. Babson is known for a school for entrepreneurs,
Okay.
but entrepreneurs have probably at least four different types of entrepreneurs. One is a typical entrepreneurs that wants to start up things, wants to do business, what he aspires or what his dream is. And second is social entrepreneur who
Okay.
wants to make difference in the social sector. And the others are mostly, I have a lot of friends who are from family business, but
Okay.
they live in a 100 or many decades old family business and they want to change things. And the last one is corporate entrepreneurship. So how can we develop our organization or our people towards making new business? So that's and Babson teaches us in a different dimension how to do those things. So MBA is yes, you learn all the charts and you learn the frameworks, but at Babson I really was fortunate to learn those different steps of entrepreneurship. And Harvard was, I have a master in public administration,
Okay.
but I mostly studied about geopolitics, so
Wow.
how to see the world differently.
Yeah.
That's what I learned, and it gave me a complete different perspective to see international or global arena.
Okay. Let's talk a little about MISUMI. What was the first major change that you implemented when you first got here?
Well, that was probably the first question that I was asked from my boss. What are you going to change? I think I had to do three things at the same time. First is a strategy,
Okay.
and also the mindset or the mentality of the employees,
Okay.
and also the organization and processes. So without understanding the people, I could not properly implement the strategy because strategy is not just putting it on PowerPoint. You have to execute it. I had to execute it. I'm not
Yeah.
a consultant anymore. So that's one thing that to understand the people and also understanding the company's strengths. To implement the strategy, I had to focus on enhancing what we're good at and improving what we're not good at. So those are like the three things that I juggled, and every day I did probably different things. But yes, the interesting part was obviously the people part.
Okay.
Mexico, Germany, Japan, people are very different, and for the Americans too. But like I said, I like these changes and difference, so I enjoyed very much, and I am
Yeah.
enjoying as well.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you balance global strategy with a local reality?
Yes, working outside Japan and having those kind of roles, I think that's where multinational expats or local country managers are tested.
Okay.
Being just a messenger of the global strategy is probably the easiest part, but that's not what we do. We have to, like you say, we have to balance the local strengths, local capability, and we have to see the market, we have to see the competitor and our
Right.
position. So those assessments are very important for us to do. And also in MISUMI or in many organizations, you probably have a like a pyramid structure. You have
Okay.
a aspiration, mission, value proposition, and purpose and strategies and things like that. So I think it's very important to have a global vision or what we do, what we're good at.
Okay.
But below that, for example, MISUMI is about we provide value to the customer. Customer time is very important. And how you do that and to who you do that depends on the situation of where we are. We do it differently in Mexico, in United States, Malaysia, India, China, wherever. But now what we're doing is we have the MISUMI global value, but we build our MISUMI Mexico value.
Okay.
And of course, I could just dictate it and somebody can write it down. But we didn't do that. The senior manager 3 years ago, they were the one who built it because they're the one who owns it and who exercises it. And if they build it, they write it. It's very different.
Yeah.
The way that the understanding is first different, and the ownership and the way that they disseminate to the company is very different. But it's been 3 years since we developed our local value. So now we are reviewing it again, handled by the local employees.
Okay.
So we selected some people, very young people. Well, first of all, MISUMI is very young. The average age is 33 years old.
Wow.
So the people that we selected are young managers to be. And they're the one who should be exercising or who should be demonstrating the values that we have now. So we wanted them to review it and adjust it to the current situation. So that's what's happening. And yes, that is a very difficult part, but very interesting as well.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
And of course, I do have to coach them. I do have to give them guidance for that. But that's what we do.
Okay. Wow. I know you've led teams in Japan, in Germany, now in Mexico. What cultural differences have you most influenced the way people respond to leadership?
That is a very good question and very difficult to say.
Yeah.
They are different, but there are commonalities as well. This week represents in Mexico a very distinctive Mexican culture, which is family, right? The Dia de Muerto, and the unity and the strong connection of the family. And I believe Mexican people in general has a very strong background of working together as a family or as a group rather than individually do things.
Yeah.
Well, of course, in European and American companies, there are people who works better in groups. But from a Japanese background, I think the group work is much effective sometimes. And from my experience, there's nothing you can do alone in a corporate environment. You have to work with someone else. And Mexican people, yes, they sometimes have strong opinions, becomes emotional, but it could be also said that they're passionate as well. That is a very different culture that I had experienced in my career. So,
Okay.
and that is something that I enjoy a lot, and very diverse as well. They give different opinions as well. Sometimes I say wow, and sometimes it's okay. But it's okay. That's my job. That's my job to understand from a different perspective to make decisions.
Right.
But yeah.
Would you say that from your position, you work together with this cultural aspect that you're saying about being passionate?
That is actually the first, I wouldn't say obstacle, but the first thing that I had to change. I said strategy, organization, process, mentality and things like that. Um, Many companies, not only Japanese, maybe European owned, Mexican owned, American owned, they have KPIs. And they just tell you to achieve your KPIs. Um, in a way, that is correct because it's an accumulation of KPIs, but sometimes you have to balance things.
Right.
Um, but if you confine people in the KPIs, it's not really a fruit of passion. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, yes, of course, we do agree on what you're going to do this year, and sometimes people feel very passionate to achieve those goals, but it's not sometimes what they really want to do. So we have to find that middle ground
Okay.
of what people feel passionate about, and we have to combine those.
Yeah.
And of course, passionate about sometimes could be translated into what kind of company do they want to work for, and what kind of job do they want to do, and that is also passion and aspiration that we have to take into consideration.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of people and passion, what does operational excellence mean to you beyond KPIs, for example?
Okay, so I think in MISUMI's literature or a annual report or whatever is it's for IR purposes, we say Operation Excellence. There are two very different, let's say, aspects of that. One is what our mission or what we do is to improve the operation of our customers. And we do that by the best operation internally in MISUMI. The reason why we pursue how to improve customer operation is because you have probably 8 hours, some people 10, 12, no more than that, but hours a day to work. And in myself, I like the concept of Toyota production system.
Okay.
So they divide this pie chart, 8 hours, 10 hours, or whatever, into three groups. One would be the time that you spend to add value,
Okay.
the time that you do things what you're good at, and that applies to the company too. That's where you make sales, you make a profit. There's also a time that you have to do, right? And there's also a time which is a complete waste of time. Waiting is one example. And doing things that could be done by someone faster and more efficient, and you're doing it from a management perspective, that is a waste of time. So we do want to reduce our customers that last time, so they will have less time wasting their time, so they can increase their time they spend for what they're good at.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
so that's what we try to well, collaborate and serve our customers. And we do that internally too. And that doesn't apply only to MISUMI. I think that applies to many other companies
Absolutely.
and many individuals as well.
Yeah.
So, yes.
I'm sure it's pretty much easier said than done.
Oh, yes. So I can tell them, I mean, many managers can say, work more efficient.
Right.
But to do that is a different story. And our job is to reduce time wasting, reduce our employees' time wasting. Don't ask for unnecessary materials. Don't ask for unnecessary presentation and things like that. Those little things. And try to focus on what's essentially the problem. And to sometimes I make mistakes what is important. Sometimes I ask for things that, sorry. But I try to minimize as minimum as possible. But yes, I think, and we have to give our employees a tool to reduce those times. Now in this digital transformation and all this industry 4.0, you have many technologies. I mean, digital technology, IT technology, you name it. Our job is to provide it to our employees and our team and an organization to make these wasted time at least as possible. And of course, use those tools to increase our value adds. And it works in both ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you say that you learned this way of thinking while working for MISUMI, or did you learn it while you were a consultant?
Well, the consultant agency or consulting firm that I work for is McKinsey. So McKinsey is about efficiency.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, the way they work, that was 15 years ago or so, was pursuing efficiency. So the concept of let somebody or a machine do if they can do it faster and better.
Yeah.
That was, and that was a concept. But the way that I apply this into business or apply this to our clients' customers in MISUMI, of course, I learned after MISUMI. And as for the internal application of that, yes, that is from McKinsey. And also people management part comes from probably Harvard. I learned that at Harvard. And yes, the operation basics I learned from my MBA maybe. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Let's talk about digital transformation. I know you've been a strong advocate for it. What has been the most impactful technology that changed the way you've led MISUMI?
To be honest, I didn't put any technology. So, but I changed, like I said, I tried to change the mindset and also mentality and also the processes. So telling people, let the machine do if they're better at you. And let's develop that internally. So in MISUMI, we have half a dozen of programmers, and they do Java, they do Python, they do R, they do many things that I don't even know what it is. But their job is to develop a program to accelerate the usage of digital technology to make people more efficient and productive. So I didn't. Yes, I did take like a 101 class for Python or whatever, but I don't do that. But my job is to implement the structure and change the mentality of the people to use those if they're better at you. And I want them to focus on what they should be doing.
Yeah. Speaking of which, what would you say would be the biggest misconception companies have when they talk about digital transformation?
I think sometimes people think, is that grammar? Well, I think many people think that if you buy this big software, big system, you implement that, you're done. I don't think it's that way. Digital transformation is actually transforming your internal processes and changing the people mindset.
Right.
So it could be starting from a very small thing. And in MISUMI, we do provide very small solutions for the customers, but that actually turns out to be a very big impact for the customers. And so buying $1 million or $1 million system doesn't really transform you digitally.
Right.
So you have, and most of the time, the difference is the managers don't understand that, leaders don't understand that. They're the one who should change their mindset that if we can do it digitally, let's do it. I mean, it is mostly dependent on the manager's, let's say, decision and their commitment to do that.
Yeah. And it sounds ironic to think that digital transformation is based on people. Like you said, people adapting to these new technologies, these ways of doing things now, whether before we did it by hand or we carried everything. So we were speaking at this podcast with someone who said that automation has a limit. And from that point on, it's people.
Yes, and digital transformation or AI will not replace us. We probably have better things to do.
Yeah.
The machines
right.
and AI are helping us to reduce time that somebody else, and in this case especially, it's IT tool and AI. And yes, it's going to help us a lot to create time for us to think more creatively
Right.
and combining things, because AI cannot do that yet
Yeah,
and make
absolutely.
decisions. That is something that we have to keep developing as a human, rather than relying solely on only on AI and digital technologies to say, hey, we're digitally transformed.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of culture and cross culture, in your case, leadership, what values from Japanese business culture have helped you the most in Mexico, and which ones you had to adapt?
So, Japanese business culture, German business culture, American business culture, Russian business culture, it's different everywhere. Even in Japan, company A has a different culture, B. In Mexico, Z has a different culture, Y has a different culture. But in general, I think the largest or biggest difference is the concept of time
Okay.
in Japan. It's not like being on time. Being on time is a very important factor of everything, because you keep your promise and everything. But from the Japanese custom standpoint, I think it's not about keeping the time, because time has many applications. How you use your time is very different as well. And if you talk about how you use time, I think the Germans are very good at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
and and what I learned from Mexico is, I think I said that this before, is Mexico is very diverse, has many different opinions. And our job as a leader and manager is how do we collect those, and how do we, sorry to say, but how do we pick the good ones?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
sometimes you have to make hard decisions to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And what about building trust? Would you say that you build trust while maintaining MISUMI's global standards? It's a challenge for you?
Yes, it is. But whenever people, I mean, the world is changing really fast. And I personally feel if I'm not changing, I'm doing the same thing, and I think it's the right thing, I'm probably wrong. And not a lot of people do not think that way, but there are more and more people who think that way in MISUMI, which I really appreciate. But implementing things that will change is very difficult.
Yeah.
There is a way that say just do it, but most of the time it doesn't work.
Okay.
Sometimes it does, but the way to do it is to plant a low-hanging fruit and accumulate those low-hanging fruit. Is like you can pick the fruit easily, right? And develop and plan your strategy like that to have like milestones to show, hey, look, this is working.
Yeah.
And you accumulate those small steps and try to change the whole organization and also the mentality of the people.
Okay.
So I think that's a very challenging part, but that doesn't only apply to Mexican people. It worked. I think it worked to the German people too.
Yeah, I'm sure. What advice would you give to Mexican professionals working in Japanese companies or multinational companies?
I think the more effort who has to pay is the expats, the leaders. The leaders and expats are the one who has to adapt and change because the market is different,
Right.
competitor is different, your position is different. The people who are there before you knew that. And you're the one who has to understand that and then adapt to that, and especially the corporate culture as well. And
Right.
also you have to define where you're going and show them the roadmap to get there.
Okay.
So transparency and clarity and direction is probably very important communication that the managers have to do.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. How do you encourage innovation in a cross-cultural environment where people may be a little bit hesitant?
Innovation. This March, we had our first corporate innovation fair, and we called it Shark Tank.
Okay.
We did it in Bloque.
Okay. Yeah.
So we had 8 teams presenting. I mean, not all 8 teams presented at Bloque. Some of them didn't qualify for the finals. So we means the company or as an organization have to say we're open for different ideas, new ideas, because we need it. We need to change, and we welcome new ideas. That's the job or what we have to do as a leader or the manager. And we also have to cultivate the culture or people mindset that, oh, I can speak up.
Right.
And that is the forum, like the Shark Tank thing. And also, we have to follow that up. As a manager or leaders, you have to um, uh, walk with them,
Right.
talk with them, and give feedback, inputs, or guidance for making a better decision. And also reward these people. So most of the challenges or the obligation is on the company side. People
Right.
in Mexico especially has great ideas, many ideas, and our job is to pull that out.
Okay. And are you going to keep working on this program for next years?
Yes, we are planning for that. So out of these 8 projects, 3 of them are already on the market. So
Okay.
that was
Wow.
really fast. We have to encourage that, and we have to recognize the people, the team that who does that. We really appreciate those efforts, and also ourselves has to be committed to the implementation of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know how many teams is going to participate in this next one, but hopefully many will come. And we also have to give them like a very basic understanding of, let's say, business literacy. I mean, it's like, the frameworks and everything. We have to provide them tool to think as well.
Yeah.
So that is something that I learned in the last round of the Shark Tank.
Okay, well, congratulations. It sounds like a great program. Very successful.
Thank you.
Uh, MISUMI has grown steadily, even in challenging times, such as this year, for example. What do you think makes the business model so resilient?
Um, our business model is very similar. I wouldn't say exactly the same, but the foundation is similar all over the world.
Okay.
It's been tested, it's been modified, and we share those. But it doesn't mean that we copy and paste the Japanese way or the Chinese way. But the foundation of that is every 12,000 employees of Misumi is probably, hopefully, thinking, and I am pretty sure that they are thinking, that how could we improve the value that the customer has, and that is time. How can we improve the time concept of our customers?
Right.
So it's the model, of course, is very important, but the people who runs that is very important too. So we have to make sure that everyone in an organization has the same value, which is the customer's time.
Right. Okay. How do you see Mexico's involving in the global manufacturing supply chain?
Mexico, I just did a presentation last week, similar thing, has four great advantages. One is it's never going to change. We're next to the largest market in the world,
Wow.
next to the United States.
Right.
That's never going to change. No country can pop up between the United States and Mexico.
Okay.
That
Wow.
is that is a geographic proximity that we have to the largest market in the world.
Right.
And the government for decades has been working on for all these free trade agreements.
Right.
We have very good free trade agreements. And also talking about, and we cannot forget the fact that Mexico has a strong foundation of MIPIMES, micro pequeño enterprises. And the last one, which is sometimes people overlook, is the talent. Um, Mexico, Mexican university and institutions fees 130,000 engineering students to our industry.
Wow.
Those four things will not change.
Right.
And of course, we have the government who is supporting strongly the new government, HOA Mexico, and also not only the state government, the federal government, but the state government like Querétaro, Guanajuato, Nuevo León, Chihuahua, and Coahuila. They have this strong initiative of building their own clusters, industrial clusters. So
Right.
they want to diversify the industry and where the industry is. And also, we cannot forget the foreign direct investment. It's not only the money that comes in, but it's also the technology and the information and people and many things that comes in as well.
Right.
So those four factors and the government support and also the FDIs combined is building Mexico a very strong and high potential for growth. The president is aiming for becoming one of the top 10 economy in 2030, and mostly based on manufacturing.
Okay.
So I think Mexico has a big potential for that
Right.
as well. And we should not forget, we should not only talk about the manufacturing industry. Last week in Mexico City, this in November in Guadalajara, you have this startup week. And it's not only the Mexican startups that is coming to this the week or event. They're coming from Colombia, Brazil, Argentina. So all over Latin America is now coming to Mexico. The venture capitals, of course, the money, and also the information, and also the ideas.
Okay.
So I think with that, the strong, let's say, industrial foundation, plus new ideas and startups and entrepreneurship,
Right.
I think that is a very strong push for the Mexican industry.
Okay. Okay. Uh, how can companies like Misumi contribute to the professional development of young engineers and technicians in Mexico?
There are probably a few things that we could do. Um, on the contrary to what I just said, the biggest challenge, or I mean, one of the biggest challenge of Mexican industry is, as you said, pointed out, engineering talent.
Right. Hmm.
Few things we could do. We do help our customers, as I said, to reduce their time and make their process more efficient.
Okay.
To be more specific, we have machine designers, product designers who spend a lot of time doing not really necessary work.
Okay.
So we can reduce their time for these unnecessary work and focus on design.
Okay.
And we can also help the maintenance engineer similarly to focus on maintenance, not time to look for where the part is, look for who to order, how much it is, and things like that.
Okay.
So we usually reduce 30% or at least 30% of the time for them. So we do provide time for them to focus on what they're good at, engineering mostly. And also, what we do is we support or try to help academics. For
Okay.
example, last week we helped the event for digital manufacturing at Tec de Monterrey. It's not that we only supported the event, but we learned that from that as well.
Okay. Yeah.
So so we provide solutions for the engineers to make their job more efficient and productive, and also we try to um, help develop those young engineers who are still in university or in the graduate schools.
Okay. What motivates you personally as a leader after more than 2 decades in global management?
Of course, I do commit to the KPIs, the goals of annual, quarterly, or semi-annual. But what motivates me and what I feel and in my job is if I made the organization better than I had it before. So, of course, there are many foundations, many organization foundation. I mean, you have the customer foundation, you have the profitability foundation, and you have business foundation and all that. So building those foundation is the very important part of my job.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if I did a great job, I think the organization is better. So when I look back after my term or whatever, and I believe and people are saying we have a better organization, that really makes me happy.
Okay. How would you personally define success?
Success is again develop the organization. I mean, we do have sales target, profitability target, um, but again, this success that I think is most important for my kind of role would be how did we develop the organization. So, and to do that, like I said, there are three very important factors. You have the strategy, you have to have a clear strategy and the execution, and also the processes. Sometimes you need to make a big change, and also the mindset and the mentality of the people. So those three things has to balance all the time to adapt to the changes that we're having.
Yeah. Finally, if you could send a message to the next generation of industrial leaders in Mexico, what would you tell them?
Mexico industry has a great potential based on the at least four things. There are probably many other things that is going to help the Mexican industry grow.
Right.
Geographic proximity, strategically geographic position that they have, and you have the relationship with other countries, and also a strong foundation of MIPYMEs, the small and mediums, and also the talent that you have, and the government support, and also the FDI. So Mexico has a very strong and very promising future. And what I value and our organization should be valuing is people who challenge, because I believe the best way to learn things is from failure.
Right.
And I don't encourage people to fail, but I say
Right.
it's okay to fail.
Right.
Because that's the way you learn things. And people who learn from that and who is resilient and comes back are the people who you should value. But if you don't challenge, you don't even fail in the first place.
Right.
So you have to encourage challenges and be tolerant to making failures. Of course, I make failures, but in my position, I can make less mistakes.
Right. I hope so.
I hope I am making less mistakes. So the young people should be not afraid of making a mistake or not failing. But if you fail, learn from that,
Right.
and grow from that. Again, try it.
Okay.
If you don't try, you don't learn.
Yeah.
If you succeed, that's great. But young people and young managers should be more, let's say, tolerant. Our generation or our position should be more tolerant or open to those kind of challenges and mistakes.
Right. Well, Aki, thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you so much.
We all learned a lot about your story and the way you think about business, about the people. I hope Mexico has been great to you, been good to you.
No. I love your country. I really do.
That's great. I love to hear that. Thank you so much for your time, for talking to us.
Thank you.
And muchas gracias a todos por escucharnos. Recuerden que nos pueden seguir en redes sociales como Mente de Planta Podcast. Estamos en YouTube, en Spotify y en Instagram. Los vemos en el próximo episodio. Muchas gracias a todos.